part of the reason I wanted to go to Power Slap was because this was like an emerging sport that was very much not part of mainstream, has no history or tradition behind it. Like, they've been racing planes for a long time. They've been racing Indy cars for a long time. I wanted to see what a sport looked like legitimately in its infancy. And that was probably the coolest part of all this, because I don't know where that deal heads. Dano told me, he says it's as successful as any business he's ever seen in the first 13 months. It generates tremendous social media action.
It does, man. It really does on social.
It kills on social.
I think it's because you're scrolling through and you just see somebody slap the shit out of somebody else, and then they're falling over the table and they're like trying to stand back up. They're on skates. And it's something that you can sit there and watch in that 3 seconds before we're going to scroll away from something else.
Yeah, your thumb's already moving. Yeah. It's in drag racing for me. That was, I'm going, okay, there's some correlations to this. There's 3 to 5 rounds of one of these slap competitions. It's like a one-shot thing. It's like the ultimate sudden death type of deal. Like, you get one shot to knock this guy out, or he gets a shot to knock you out. So there were some things that I wanted to see. And the other part was the scale of it, because I had been told, like, hey, this is an invited guest only thing. We're only putting like 100 tickets into circulation. We've got a bunch of influencers coming out, and a bunch of Vivek Ramaswamy was there. Like, it was crazy how many people were there that were like, everybody in the building seemed to have a camera crew following them around. But I wanted to see what they were doing, what things they were putting in place.
What's the dude? What's the
Stitcher or something? The Max, my little boy, said he's not little, he just turned 16. But yeah, he told me that he's like,
we weren't aware of that deal, but he's like insanely popular now. They were doing that on the NBA games last night
or something. But my point is that it was cool to see a sport truly in its infancy and how they were handling that. Like, I thought it was really interesting the way the events were paired. You have Power Slap on Friday night, then Saturday night you've got one of the, perhaps the biggest UFC event in the history of the world. And it's like, the way that they married those two up, like, you check into your hotel event, or you check into your hotel, and they don't just have UFC stuff in there. They've got Power Slap stuff in there as well. They're trying to make Power Slap guilty by association in a good way. They're trying to transfer some of that audience and bridge some of those gaps. And I just think that's brilliant. We don't see near enough. But again, it speaks to what we talk about here all the time. Competition happens at the bottom. Collaboration happens at the top. And I think that is just a perfect example of them going, hey, we can't have these brands competing. They need to be collaborative brands. There needs to be some sort of understood alliance. And how much easier is it to attract a competitor, one of these guys that's going to haul off and slap some dude, when they know that they're going to be kind of in the club with all these UFC fighters that they've looked up to their entire lives? Like, that is a big difference maker. I guarantee you that's the driving force, because I did some inquiring around what these guys are getting paid to slap each other in the face, and it ain't much. I mean, I tell you what, drag racers have a rough deal ahead of them, but at least you don't have to know you're going to get hit in the face tonight and potentially knocked out, and they're not paying near what most drag races pay this day and age. So it's
also getting in on the ground floor too. It's like these guys are able to get in and be one of the originals. I mean, we see how like revered and well taken care of the originals are in UFC, and Dana talks about, like the Ultimate Fighter and those guys that launched that deal. It's a chance to get in on something that appears to have, headed to the stratosphere, which is everything that these guys are involved in. And it's almost like, I think the analogy that I would say is that, like, and I know not every Power Slap is paired up with a UFC event the following night like this, but it was almost like the rehearsal dinner for the wedding. It's like the night before, small, intimate, VIP only, and then getting everybody together before you have the big event that's more of the public spectacle the next day. That's kind of the way I would put it, because it's a lot of the same people were involved, but it was just a much smaller, intimate primer for the following night's event.
And to me, my like big take, when I was leaving, I'm going, I can't tell you how badly I want to put on a small, big money shootout at some track that's in the middle of the night or at 9 or 10 o'clock, do maybe don't even do qualifying. We're going to go draw names out of a hat. We're going to have 8 cars here. We're going to run for big money and create that small, intimate scene, pit them all in the staging lanes, put them all right there for the fans. Don't have anybody in the grandstands, only have seating down around the starting line, only have fans down around the action. There's an opportunity there for a real, because the thing that I felt,
It was
it was
so
like, it
fun,
felt
dude. I mean, but it was
underground,
like, it was the
right?
most fun deal. Like it was small. We keep talking about it like it was small and intimate, but it was rowdy and it was fun.
Did you have you seen The Gentleman? Not the movie, but the new series on Netflix?
I think I've seen previews for it. I have
Well,
not watched it.
okay, let's go back to any action movie. Like, if you've seen any action movie that has like some murder, mystery, intrigue kind of part of it, at some point they end up at some underground fight club
Mhm.
where everybody's rich and betting money on the fights, and the guys are fighting to the death. I felt like we were in one of those deals. Like, I felt
Yeah.
like we had gotten into the back door in the basement
The
of something and
JT was
walked in
trying to
and,
sell me on the fact like that when he had
oh yeah.
gone to get a drink or they go into the bathroom, came back, man, I just signed me and you up. They're doing an amateur deal and I put me and your name in the hat. So we might be slapping
You
each other
believed
here in
it
a
for like
minute.
an hour.
I did not. I did not believe it.
Oh
I
yeah,
played
you were.
along with him.
It was hilarious. JT walks up to me. He goes, "Wes, go along with this. I've got everybody else on board." He goes, "I told Mike that they had an amateur sign up, and I signed us both up. And we're going to be, after this is over, we're going to get to go up there, and there's going to be other people, and we're gonna do one of these matches." And I thought, "Oh my god!" And I
But
was
what were
hoping
we
he had
doing
shown
after
a little
that?
bit.
We were measuring wingspan out in the
Yeah,
parking lot.
yeah.
We were sizing each other up. Like, who actually would be good at this, or what does it take to
I,
be a world champion
it looks to
power
me like
slap?
you have to tuck your sweatpants into your cowboy
You
boots.
do.
Like, if
Skechers are
there's
key.
a,
The
yeah,
dude that
Skechers.
yeah,
Skechers are a big part of it. I saw a lot of guys in Skechers. Sweatpants is basically what you have to wear. Like, I thought we
yeah.
would see dudes in like board shorts. Not the case. It is baggy t-shirts and sweatpants only, and tucked into
Beard. You
cowboy
gotta have
boots
a
if
giant
possible.
beard. That seems to
Yeah,
be a big help.
that helped
So
me
I
a
would
lot
be
when I was a
struggling on
kid.
that
When
front.
I knew that I was about to get, spanked with a belt, my brother and I would always beeline it to the downstairs bathroom and put washcloths in our pants because we were about to get beat with my dad's belt, and it
What
really helped.
yeah.
So I can't imagine having one of the, like, the one guy
I
that's like Wolverine, the main one
yeah.
of the main stars. He's got this huge red beard that looks
They
like,
all do. A lot of them do.
yeah, it's
That makes it
bonkers.
that's definitely some cushioning, man. One
It's
way
got to be some cushion.
you were talking about preparing for your dad's whooping. One time uh I knew it was coming and I had like a football uniform with pads and padded pants and a football helmet. And I'm like, I don't know, 6 years old or something. So here comes dad home from work, and I know this whooping's coming with probably with the belt. I think I'd done something really bad, and I'm sitting on the bed in full football gear. I'm like, I'm ready. And my dad said he just couldn't even do it at that point. He just turned around and said,
Walked
I
up
think
like,
that we've
"Hey
accomplished what
kids,
we wanted to here.
if you were expecting a spanking, you put on some football pants, and your parents will just feel so sorry for you that they'll back out." But
It,